let me turn the tables for a second and ask you a question, Scott. Do you think if someone takes the written, as we call it, workshop, workshop, it increases their statistical chance of passing the exam?
Without a doubt. I mean, we know that for a fact. And the workshop applicant, any applicant that attends our workshop will score higher than an applicant who buys our home study. And they will score higher than someone who doesn't buy anything from us. And that is simply a fact. The data has been there, and it's been there for years. And the level of satisfaction is demonstrated because when we get these feedback sheets from the participants, some of them say, well, we like the workshop, but we don't know if we passed yet. Well, we have a whole team of people that follow up on those individuals. We wait to find out, have you heard anything? When did you actually take your test? What was your score? So we collect this kind of data, and I'm very proud of the fact that we have managed to sustain not only a very high pass rate, for goodness sakes, considering the thousands of people that purchase our products, but more importantly, I'm very comfortable knowing that people are satisfied with the level of service that they get and the level of education. I like to think that what AATBS does is an extension of your graduate program. It is part of this lifelong learning process that we all have to go through. Yes, it will cost you some money. It doesn't have to cost you a lot of money. It will cost whatever you are willing to spend. But the reality is it needs to be treated as an extension of your education and part of your overall business plan, since many of our applicants go on to having private practices, and they have to not only think like a therapist, but they have to also think like a business person. And that's a big challenge, I think, and we're actually dealing with that right now in developing an association for our former customers so they can come back to us for additional services. And I don't mean to go off target here, Mike, but was there anything else we could talk about in terms of demystifying the test, the things that we hear that are so strange because we know that they are not true?
Well, let me throw a few thoughts in while I still have them.
Sure.
Okay. One, the written workshops, coming back to that. Mm-hmm. The mean effect that we found was 0.55. In English, that means that the workshop was giving approximately a half standard deviation bump over people studying independently. So I want to sort of put a empirically based statement out. Secondly, you had talked about flexing and costs, and as you know, I have zero to do with that kind of stuff. But I want to say that I hope we keep doing that because I think we owe it to participants to give access, because if we're accurate, and if what we're talking about, this company actually does improve people's chances of passing an exam, then we need to give keys to the kingdom to a range of all of the applicants out there. So I'm glad to hear that you flex financially. I hope so.
We've had people who've come to us who've gone to other programs and who have not been able to pass. The only thing I ask them to do is send me a copy of their failure letter, a photocopy of the receipt from the company they went to, and then I comp them the product. I'll do whatever it takes to help someone pass, because frankly, I think goodwill is still part of what being in business is about. At least it is here. And yes, we have probably more employees than all of our competitors combined, and yet that's what it requires, I think, to put out a quality product. But that also does not mean that we need to charge outrageous sums of money. Dr. J, you mentioned Dr. Frankel. I happen to know that Janice books sometimes hours and hours and hours of consultation with individuals, as you know, she's tutoring them by telephone. There's no additional charge for that. And I have one customer that I know of right now where English is a second language. She has never left our company. We have comped her materials for, I can't even tell you how many years. And this individual, we pray, we know, will one day pass. But there are challenges that this person is facing, and it's not just English, it's other issues that we don't need to discuss here. But she does not want to give up, which means we will not give up, which means Janice will always be there to help this particular individual, and that applies to anyone. Again, I want us to be the company that you and I would want to purchase from. That's the company I want to work at, and that's the company I want us to be. And that's why I think it's great that, you know, as an independent contractor, you can certainly, you could have left a long time ago. I'm certainly glad you stuck around, because you've actually done so much good. You've turned the 4-day workshop into something that has made a significant difference in so many people's lives, and that's why we have boxes of letters and cards, and of course the emails that you receive. Because Mike is one of the very few instructors that actually puts his email up on the whiteboard, and he's in touch with the workshop folks long after the workshop is over with, and that's awfully nice. I think that speaks very highly of you, Michael.
Thank you, Scott. And if I can, you know, because we keep mentioning Dr. Frankel, it is important to note, and you know I'm a big fan of Janice, that there's another Dr. Frankel who is very well respected and known in the state.
That's right.
Steve Frankel.
That's right.
Who is an attorney and also a psychologist. And
in Northern California.
Held in high regard statewide.
That's
and
right.
An expert's expert who sells products as well. And I didn't want to confuse people. And in closing, I would like to say to my colleagues, whether I have the opportunity to meet with you and work with you or not, kind of keep the faith, hang in there, study hard. It's a difficult hurdle, but we get through it, and it is doable. Find a way to do it with grace. I wish you good luck.
Well, Mike, if there's nothing else, I really want to thank you again for helping us touch on some of these issues. I think it's important that consumers arm themselves, be a savvy shopper. You don't have to buy from the association. You can go buy from someone else. Just make sure you're comfortable, that you ask all the questions, get all the information. Don't do anything in a hurry. Sleep on it. Ultimately, I'm sure you'll make the right decision. I want to thank Dr. Kerner for joining us, and I want to thank you for viewing this little program. If you need more information about the EPPP or the Association for Advanced Training in the Behavioral Sciences, visit AATBS.com, or you can call our office at 800-472-1931. We'd be very happy to talk to you, and thank you.